Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the 615 Preps Scoreboard presented by AccuWorks. And a little early this morning because we've got brackets to talk about. I think I've got a little microphone issue.
No, you're fine.
Oh, sounded pretty good.
Yeah. Want to make sure you guys can hear me. Oh,
yeah.
Perfect.
No, you're good.
All right. Yeah. Had a couple of technical difficulties here before we went live, so.
Yeah. I think our system had a Halloween hangover.
I think it did too.
Did I just put a G on the end of Halloween?
Or maybe, or maybe it, maybe it's the early start for us too.
Yeah, it could be.
Getting Instagram live rolling here in just a second. We'll do that before we get everything started.
I'm just trying to figure out when this woodpecker is going to quit hitting the metal on my roof and realizing he's not getting anything.
Well, while we do that, guys, last couple of nights have been interesting to say the least for getting these brackets set up. We had a lot of movement.
Yeah, and a lot of teams, some surprises for us. Maybe not for fans of the certain teams, but we did have a lot of surprises that kind of. I know Cam was scratching his head and trying to, he had all the string together, across the room. This leads to this and this to this, kind of like the giant spaghetti monster. But have you unscrambled your brain, Cam?
Yes and no. Yes and no. It's shifted for sure. We were talking about it on Instagram Live last night. We know where everybody starts, but where do they go after they start? You're looking at some matchups potentially with a 2 seed versus a 1 seed and the 2 seed host from a different region. That's kind of a unique, odd situation that we're not used to. One area team for us that could potentially work out in favor for is Antioch. Potentially Antioch hosting Southwind in the quarters. That's unlike years past where the higher seed would host regardless. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and how frustrated some coaches are because of that.
Yep. Should have Instagram Live going now, so we'll let everybody get in here before we get started.
Big Chief came up with I was just going to say, Big Chief came up with another big one. Alcoa goes down. They wind up the number 2 in that region. And
they do.
Yeah. And so if you were expecting to play somebody else at the number 2 spot and you got Alcoa.
Well, I don't think it would have mattered whoever was going to be playing that 2 seed there, but I think which turns out I think it's Cherokee, but the team that really is frustrated with that result, in my opinion, is Upperman.
Yeah.
Upperman is now potentially looking at playing Alcoa in round 2.
Yep.
And instead of they would have still had to knock off Anderson County, which clearly Anderson County is still a really good football team since they beat Alcoa. But now you're looking at beating Alcoa and then potentially having to play Greenville or Anderson County in the semis. It's just a rough road for the Bees, and they're a good football team. They really are, but it's a gauntlet for sure in 4A on the top half.
Yeah, it is, but we kind of anticipated that was going to be the case anyway. Just it didn't really matter how it fell. Somebody was going to have a really hard road.
Yeah, it honestly feels like probably 4 out of the top 6 teams are in the East.
Yeah, everything was made so much about Alcoa moving up, and it just made that half of the bracket an absolute dogfight across the board.
I guess the only plus, if you're an Upperman or Upper Cumberland fan listening, is you would get Alcoa at home here instead of playing them in the semis and having to go to Alcoa. So
right, yeah, making them at least go on the road is a bonus for a gate too, because people are going to show up for that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got plenty of scores and brackets to go to. Let's go ahead and get started, guys. We're going to start in 6A and work our way down for Division 1 first. Then we'll get to Division 2 for the end of the show. So a little bit different than usual. We're going basically bracket by bracket.
That's right. Joe's not here. We're
unfortunately
doing it our way.
Yeah. All right. Scores from first off Thursday night. Let's go into Region 3 6A. Blackman gets a 35-7 win over Rockvale. And it's important for that because at the same time, we were looking at Riverdale and Oakland, and then also with Smyrna and Stewart's Creek. But Blackman's win rendered the Oakland Riverdale score meaningless as far as seeding goes.
Yeah, it is amazing. Blackman did it all, special teams, everything. First of all, Jabari Kemp had a couple of touchdown runs. Jaden Lark had a 53-yard interception return for touchdown. James Stevenson had a 75-yard kickoff return. Kristen Thornton, 18-yard pick six. Just about any way you could score, they filled their bingo card.
Yeah, that Blackman defense is just really, really good. Gives them a shot to make a run, especially with the new setup for the bracket. And for Rockvale, you're disappointed for sure. But another one of those teams in our area, we've got a couple teams like this, but just inconsistencies this season ultimately winds up costing them a playoff spot. They kind of got a head scratcher. They got beat by 30 by Smyrna earlier in the year, and that was definitely not expected. And then they go on the road and they compete against Oakland. They're right there with Riverdale, about to score to tie it up and have a fumble return for a touchdown. And it's unfortunately it's just a matter of what ifs for Rockvale. But I think they've shown enough glimpses this season under Coach Counts that the Rockets are gonna be there in the very near future.
Yeah. RC Chia for Rockvale, 6 receptions for 82 yards, had a score. Melvin Boone, 5 tackles and a sack. You're right, Cam. Rockvale is trending the right direction.
And for Blackman, a 9-1 finish for the Blaze. And that's their best record in a few years as far as the regular season goes.
Yeah.
Siegel will end their season with a win 27-6 over Laverne. The Stars 4-6 overall. Laverne will finish with an 0-10 mark.
Yeah, rough season for Laverne. New coach, getting that team back on track is a large task, and they're working towards it. But just a rough season for the Wolverines. Siegel, they showed glimpses this year. Quentin Carson, he had 3 touchdown passes in this game. Drew Hostetler had a couple of touchdown receptions. So yeah, I believe they had chances this year. Siegel did to really make some noise.
Yeah, and it's ultimately the out of region losses that did Siegel in. The region actually finished in a 3-way tie for 4th between Siegel, Smyrna, and Rockvale. And Smyrna had the best overall record, so they got the 4th spot. And unfortunately for Siegel, they finished 4-6, where Smyrna was 5-5. So,
yep.
Yeah, and if you go back through that non-region schedule for Siegel, you can pick out one game where that would have been the difference, because had they won one more non-region game, they would have beaten Smyrna on the tiebreaker to get in. But the biggest benefactor from Thursday night was indeed Smyrna. They shut out Stewart's Creek 27-0. The Bulldogs find the backdoor into the postseason as the 4 seed.
Yeah, they found a back door, but they kicked the back door in. They struggled at the beginning of the season, but they really made a run here at the tail end. Really good game from Turville Gordon, 176 yards, couple of scores here. Amari Hill, 6 tackles, 2 picks. Stewart's Creek, just a rough year, lost 2 of their big playmakers to season-ending injuries. But good for the Bulldogs. They finished strong and they made it in.
Yeah, they get in as the 4 seed, and Oakland's the region champion again. Surprise, surprise. They actually trailed Riverdale in the second half, but the Patriots came back to win 35-21. They cap at 10 of the regular season, and the Warriors are going to fall to the 3 seed.
Yeah, outscored Riverdale 22-7 in the second half. Scores a little bit skewed because of it was 3rd and 9 with 59 seconds left to go in the game, and Oakland drew up a screen pass that was house called by Justice Haggard. So easily could have been a 7-point game, but Oakland went ahead and put another one on there, which in a rivalry game is not uncommon. So, yeah, Riverdale came to play. We tried to tell y'all on Wednesday that was going to happen. They really wanted this game, and Oakland. Coach Greasy said it after the game. Hats off to Riverdale for making us play 4 quarters, but he pretty much said that he was thankful that they had to play 4 quarters because they haven't played 4 quarters in a while. So he was excited to see how his guys responded having to play 4 and really having to dig deep to come through and get a win.
Yep. That's how Region 3 shakes out. Go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, Oakland's defense showed up again, even though they did allow 21 points, 5 sacks, 2 from Travion Jackson. But Gavin Hampton Riverdale offense did something not many teams could do. They put up points on the Oakland defense.
Yeah, that's an accomplishment in itself, the way the Patriot defense has played all year. So that's how Region 3 is going to shake out there. Let's go over to Region 4. We'll start with Cookeville knocking off Lebanon 24-7, and the Blue Devils will finish 8-2.
Yeah, this was kind of the tale of 2 halves. Jen Azita, 24 carries, 111 yards, but he only had 10 in the second half as Cookeville shifted focus and stopping the run. Lebanon uncharacteristically gave up 130 yards rushing to Cookeville team. I think this may have been just a case of a young team playing like a young team.
Yeah, and it's also a case of a Cookeville team that's been in some games this year, especially early on, and it kind of getting away from them. And then as of late, everything is going their way, and they're really winning these games up front. You talk about them rushing the ball for 130 yards against Lebanon.
130 yards, yeah.
And holding Azita to 10 yards in the second half. Who else has done that this year? Probably nobody. So, testament to the Cavaliers. They're a young squad as well. They'll have a lot of pieces returning on next year's team, but man, they've really turned it around as of late. 3-game winning streak going in the postseason.
Yep.
Green Hill takes the Mayor's Cup again, 39-13 over Mount Juliet on Thursday night, and the Hawks unbeaten in region play. They finish 8-2 overall.
Another good night for Zach Cartwright, 113 yards rushing, couple scores. Cannon Burrows just does what Cannon Burrows does. 192 yards on 8 of 11 passing and a touchdown, had 2 more on the ground. Mount Juliet, they had a rough time. Eli Driver came in, got a couple scores late for them, but Green Hill, I believe that's their 3rd in a row region championship.
I believe that's, have to go back and look at that, but I believe that's correct. Mount Juliet's going to finish 2-8, and it's just a tough season over there for the Golden Bears. It's offensively challenged early on in the year. They came on a little bit here in the late going, but ultimately going to fall to 1-4 in region play and finish 5th in region 4. Gallatin 33-0 winners over Wilson Central, and the Green Wave with that result force a 3-way tie for second, but the Green Wave will be the number 3 seed out of region 4.
Yeah, good night for Malachi Harper. Had 3 touchdowns. Xavier McMurray had an 86-yard pick 6, 1 of 3 for Gallatin. A little concern, though. Keyshawn Barksdale went down with an injury late in that game. Don't know the extent. Hope he's doing well. Gallatin really needs him for the playoff run.
Yeah, great win for Gallatin in the season, in the regular season anyway. And, a Wilson Central team that showed glimpses this season, especially with Chaz Martin, just couldn't find a way to get it done in region play. And that's unfortunate. But, the Green Wave with Jackson Strap going down in the middle of the season, they've found enough in that running game with Malachi Harper to go ahead and push through and get to the postseason. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can get that run game going in their first round matchup, because it's a tough one.
Yeah, you mentioned Chaz Martin. He did set the school rushing record for Wilson Central last night. He needed 50 yards. I think he got 60. So he is the Wilson Central leading rusher for that program.
Yep. On to the bracket for the eastern half of 6A, and we'll start up top. Farragut's going to travel to Dobbins Bennett. Gallatin will visit Blackman in round 1.
Yeah, it's a tough draw for Gallatin there. Blackman team is playing really, really well since the Oakland loss. Offensively, Blackman is hit or miss at times. Defensively, they're pretty daggum good all the time. So, and you got to pick what you do. They're big up front. They're physical up front. And then they have an extremely experienced secondary that's played a lot of football. So they're going to be a tough out. And if you're a Blackman fan, I think it sets up well for you to get Maryville in the quarters.
And then you look down a little bit. Maryville's going to host West Ridge. And then we run back what was a classic playoff game for a couple of years ago, Riverdale and Lebanon.
Yeah, it's a matchup that 2 weeks ago we were looking at it and we were like, hey, it's a no-brainer. That's going to be spotlight game, no-brainer. And now we've had back-to-back weeks with kind of head scratchers on one side, and Riverdale kind of flexing muscle a little bit, even though they lost to Oakland, giving Oakland their best game that they've had this season. So, it's a tough draw for Lebanon, and it's going to be interesting, though. Where Riverdale has shown vulnerability at times this season is in the running game, trying to stop the run. So if Azita can get going, it'll be interesting to see if Riverdale can find a way to stop him.
Yeah, and these two teams played in back-to-back years in the postseason, 21 in the second round and 22 in the first round. That first round game was an overtime game.
Wow.
Oakland's going to host Cookville in what used to be a region game for them, but not anymore. And then you've got Smyrna traveling to Green Hill.
And out of that game is probably the most intriguing for me of the slate here in the first round, because Smyrna's defense is playing really, really well. It's not going to be a cakewalk for the Hawks.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. But I think this is a game that Coach Crouch is super excited for. He was a state champion at Smyrna, played receiver on one of those state championship teams for Smyrna in the mid 2000s. So getting to go against his alma mater in the first round, and I know we still got a ton of friends over there at Smyrna, and it's going to be interesting to see if the scheduling. We've said it 100 times this season with Green Hill. It's going to be interesting if the scheduling will pay off for them, and they'll be able to advance further into the postseason this year.
Yeah, and these two teams haven't played since 2020 either, so it's going to be a new experience for this group of players for Green Hill playing against Smyrna.
Yep.
We'll start to look at the the western half of 6A in a second. Let's go over those scores. Antioch sans Andre Adams. He was out with a concussion, and 12-0 win over Rossview.
Yeah, they turned to the running game in this one. Evan Davis of the 163 yards and the 2 touchdowns that made the game. Fred Ntumba 2 sacks in this game, but Antioch showing that they can actually win without Andre Adams, but their defense really came through in this one.
100%. This is a game that I'm pretty sure we all picked Antioch before we found out Andre was going to be out. We all kind of stuck with Antioch with our picks. but it was a lot closer picking this game without Andre for sure. But their defense showed up. It showed up a couple times throughout the season. Definitely not as flashy as that offense is, but man, what a job to show up when it matters the most. Get that home playoff game. And unfortunately, they dropped one to Clarksville that they wish they had back. But 9-1 football season at Antioch, maybe their best regular season of all time.
I tell you, to be able to win this game, when your bell cow, when your star is on the bench, and to have it with your defense and who, it's always been the offense all year long is what most people talk about. To have your defense really step up in the game, that has to help Coach Broom with his kids going into the playoffs. And hopefully Andre's back for round one.
There are a couple of other 9-win seasons in school history. Last one came in 2003 when Thomas McPhail was the head coach at Antioch. They also had a couple in 1985 and 1976 where they finished 9-2 after winning 9 in the regular season. Clarksville shuts out Cambridge 37-0. They had already locked up the region title, had really nothing to play for except keeping in good form going to the postseason. Cambridge 4-5 overall, but they are in the playoffs.
Clarksville is showed last week they're still a force to be reckoned with. Their defense is just very, very, very good.
It's very good, and offensively, it reminds me of being from Trousdale County. It reminds me of that style of play because they can take over a game physically up front and just kill the game. Like they don't intentionally, watch the back judge count down to 1 before they snap. But when you're picking up 3 and 4 and 6 and 4 and before you know it, you got an 8-minute drive and you're down 7-0, which is exactly how they started the game against Antioch. That can absolutely deflate a team that you're playing, and that's how you win in the postseason.
Sorry, I didn't have a bell to ring the Trousdale County counter.
I thought you were making a toast there, Scott. I was a little confused.
I don't have a bell to do the Trousdale County counter every time Cam mentions them.
Probably.
Well, it was the perfect time to mention them. It's the same colors. It's the same style of offense. Hey, it fits.
Hey,
and I'm sure.
Point taken.
And I'm sure Joe just gagged a little bit when he heard you say that too. Yeah. All right. Overton shuts out McGavock 19-0. A couple of teams that will not be in the postseason, but a win for the Bobcats to finish out on a strong note.
Yeah. Both teams just struggling this year, but Overton's defense very, very, very good, and they showed it in this game.
Yeah, y'all saw it in the preseason with Overton. Defense was there pretty much all year. Offensively was hit or miss, and unfortunately, in 6A ball in our coverage area, you can't have those inconsistencies.
Yeah.
The border battle goes to Independence 49-21, and the Eagles are going to get the 4 seed in Region 6. Summit's going to finish with a 2-8 mark and 1-5 in region play.
I tell you, this Independence team is not one that you want to see come in the first round. They have been gaining steam. They gave Page all they could handle. Matt Horner last night, 26-30, or Thursday night, 26-36 for 369 yards and 5 touchdowns, 2 apiece to George Mayberry and Hendricks Harvey. Jordan Gray had 7 catches for 154 yards for Independence. Their offense is absolutely clicking. For Summit, Davis Smith, 7-20 for 116 with 1 touchdown. This Independence team, Scott Blade has this team really playing well at the right time of the season.
Cam, you made your first trip out to the Battle of the Woods Thursday night with Brentwood and Ravenwood. Now, Ravenwood won at 41-6. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Brentwood did exactly what they needed to do to start the game. Got a stop, went down the field. Keenan Fisher drilled a 51-yard field goal to put Brentwood up 3-0. It would have been good from at least 57, 58. Just absolutely tanked the football. But Ravenwood comes back and answers in the second quarter with a touchdown. I believe that one was Maverick Chance on a run. The extra point had a bad snap, 6-3 Ravenwood. Brentwood would go 3 and out, and then Ravenwood would go on a lengthy drive. It was about 6.5 minute drive, and they wound up scoring after a wild play. They had Femi Bababola. I hope I said that right.
Babalola, but yeah, you got it.
Yeah, Femi. I can get that
There
part.
you go.
There you go. That's all I need to know.
But Femi was scampering in. Nobody was around, and he did like a little, I guess you'd call it like a little hurdle deal into the end zone. And when he did that, he dropped the football at the half-yard line. Unfortunately, we've seen that in college and in the pros this season, but
I'll never understand it.
They ruled that he let it go before he crossed the line of scrimmage. Ravenwood was able to recover, and then on 4th and goal from the 1, they punch it in to go up 13-3 at half. Brentwood gets the ball first, second half, and they go on one of those drives I was just talking about with Clarksville. They go on an 8-minute drive where they pick up 2 fourth down conversions. They get inside the 10, and they cannot punch it in. They have to settle for a field goal. And it cuts it to 13-6, and then Ravenwood. You can call it blitz. This is what can happen when you're trying to knock off a team like this. Ravenwood scores on the second play to get a 3 and out. Score on the first play, get a 3 and out. Score on the first play, and it's 34-6 like that. And it was all she wrote after that. Ravenwood did add a defensive lineman touchdown under 3 minutes to go in the game to finish this one 41-6.
Yep.
Yeah, Maverick Champ's just all over the field. He was 7-10 passing for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. 8 for 81 rushing. Cam, I believe you said that one long run they had, and then he had a receiving touchdown. He's become the Swiss Army knife for Ravenwood. He can do it all. Yeah, I saw that play, Cam, where he dropped that ball. I just can't. They need to come up with a more celebratory thing, like a way to deliver the ball back to the referee, like it's a pizza or something, or maybe they can get some NIL money eventually from FedEx or something. Here, I'm delivering a package, not a sponsor. But this dropping the ball before you get in the end zone is becoming a bad habit.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that's going to drive coaches absolutely nuts. I can't imagine Ricky Rodriguez was too pleased seeing that. But ultimately, it didn't hurt Ravenwood. They win 41-6. Unbeaten regular season, region champions in Region 6A. It's just a strong performance from this Raptor team that we're hoping can do some things in the postseason to maybe
and one guy that we did not mention this morning, we've mentioned him a couple times throughout the season. He's absolutely the real deal. He's probably the best linebacker I've seen this year, and that's Matthew Anderson. He is all over the place.
Yeah.
And Brentwood's going to finish 6-4, and it's a Bruins team that has been a little bit inconsistent this year.
Yeah, and the inconsistencies have been on the offense side of the ball, and hearing rumblings, up and down the sidelines and frustrations, which happen because they'll have 2 or 3 good plays, and then it's either a penalty or a pass that ends up a little short from the young quarterback, and it just. Right now they're a team that can't afford to get behind the sticks. They have to stay in rhythm. They have to stay in consistency with trying to pick up first downs. They just don't have any of that explosive home run ability right now.
Well, one player for Brentwood that they were able to count on and may have helped solidify at least a nomination in the Mr. Football sense is Keenan Fisher. 2 field goals, one from 51 yards. for the Bruins. He's been Mr. Consistency for them this year.
Yep. Franklin's not going to be in the postseason, but they'll end on a high note, 35-0 winners over Cordova in actually a non-region game. So the Admirals will finish 3-7 and miss the postseason.
Yeah, and this is a good sign, putting up 35 too. That's
So the bracket of the Western half, it's Independence at Clarksville in round 1. Then we've got Ravenwood hosting Cane Ridge, Antioch hosting Shelbyville, and Brentwood hosting Rossview, as far as our area teams go.
Well, that Clarksville Independence game is that's a tough draw for Independence. We saw what Clarksville was able to do against Antioch, a really good throwing team. So that's a tough draw for them, but not unwinnable. You see up and down here, Antioch starting out Shelbyville, another good game there.
I mean, on the flip side, I'll argue that it's a tough draw for Clarksville because Independence has done wonders in the first half of games against tough teams this year. Mm-hmm. Are they ready to take that next step and make it a full, complete 48-minute game? This might be the week where that could happen.
It could be. And Clarksville has not had a good record in first rounds of late.
No.
So, I mean, they definitely can't be looking past Independence at all.
Yep. Look at the rest of the bracket, too. We've got Whitehaven traveling to Bartlett. They'll get the Clarksville Indy winner. Houston will go to Germantown, White Station at Collierville, and then Arlington at Southwind.
Yeah, it is for our area matchups. The Independence Clarksville game is probably the best game on this half, in my opinion. Antioch Shelbyville could be interesting. Shelbyville is another one of those teams that can put up a lot of points, so that could turn into a shootout. And then you look at Brentwood Rossview. That game might be 6-3, which would be a great football game to watch if you love defense. But whoever wins that game is going to have to go to Memphis to play a Southwind team. Joe said it last night. We really, really pushed for Andre Adams to be Mr. Football. But the realistic approach here is chances are it's going to be Kelvin Perkins. He's just had an unbelievable season. He was a 5A Mr. Football 2 years ago, 5A runner-up last year. He's a tremendous football player. He's committed to Austin Peay right now, which is insane to think about, that you have a 5A, 6A Mr. Football player that's going to Austin Peay. And that's not a knock on Austin Peay, but that's somebody wake the heck up in the group of 5 and give this kid a shot. Yeah, because he's the real deal.
Meanwhile, Austin Peay is going, shut up, Cam.
Yeah, and a quick note about Mr. Football. Nominations were due this morning, so that process is essentially over as far as getting those names in there. Now they'll deliberate about those soon and announce semifinalists, finalists, and winners later on. But as we don't really have a say in the voting, our deal's done.
Correct. Our deal is done. It's important to note for everybody out there, we appreciate y'all tagging us in all the graphics and the stats and all that good stuff, but everything from here on does not matter in Mr. Football.
Yep. Yeah, it's a regular season award, and as much as people don't like it.
Well, that's why there is a 615 Preps Player of the Year award that does take those into account.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. I'm not. Well, if I'm anything, I'm shameless. But no, I think the region really sets up well for Ravenwood. I like their draw. Of course, it's playoffs; anything can happen. But I really like how they're set up. It really kind of does set up as a Southwind Ravenwood on paper, but there would be some teams that have a lot to say about that.
From within our own ranks.
Yeah. The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, it's didn't see you down there, buddy. Way down the list.
Well, Matt agreed though.
Right, and also too to note here, as far as Ravenwood's concerned, that would be a quarterfinal trip to Clarksville if both of those top seeds do advance.
Yeah.
Done. So we'll turn our attention to 5A now. Let's go over to Page, where they knock off Nolensville 28-6 to complete an unbeaten regular season. Another region championship over there in Rutherville.
Yeah, this was a game that we always circled as a possibility, with Page really coming up against a local team that could have threatened them. But Cameron Cruz, 152 yards passing, couple of touchdowns. Drew Rempel, 7 catches, 84 yards in the score. No problem with Nolensville in this one.
Yeah, Knight Wilson, 2 interceptions, pick 6, I believe, right?
Yep.
He had a pick 6, and he had another one called back. He nearly had 2.
Yeah, it's just Page doing what Page does, and this Nolensville team is still going to be a very, very tough out, and that first round game for Nolensville could be a fun one.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a minute. Centennial 31-7 winners over Hillsboro, and a game they had to win because there was a path where they would not have made the playoffs had they lost this. But the Cougars do finish 4-5. They are going to be the 3 seed in Region 5A.
And that's a great confidence builder entering the playoffs in a season for them that has been disrupted, unfortunately. Good for the Cougars to go out and get a good win. Hillsboro, unfortunately, had a very rough season with some injuries, and it was just rough for the Burros this year. But Centennial, that's a great finish and a great way to enter the playoff race.
Yep. Yeah, Hillsboro will finish outside the playoff 4 from that region. Lawson is in. They already knew they were in, but they lose 16-14 at Lawrence County in a non-region game to cap the regular season.
It's another one of those teams for us, in my opinion. They've been pretty decent on the defensive side of the ball this year. Offensively, it's kind of been hit or miss.
Yep.
Beach had no trouble with Hendersonville. 49-16. The Buccaneers take down the Commandos and win Region 6-5A.
6 straight with 40-plus points. I believe that is for Beach. So, they score 40-plus a game. We'll be seeing them in Chattanooga. And that's not a knock against Page. But if they score 40 on Page, it favors Beach, in my opinion.
The Jeremy Lassiter had a big night. He had 3 touchdowns, including a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, which set a school record as the Buccaneers take the battle for Drakes Creek.
Did you say a 101-yard kickoff return?
100-yard.
Okay.
That's all courtesy of Mr. Logston.
It's 99. It's 99. It's not 100. You can't have a 100-yard kickoff return in high school.
It's what I was saying.
All right, Mr. Logston says.
I know it's semantics. I know it's semantics, but as somebody who had to know that rule,
99.5 yard.
There you go. That'll work.
99 and every blade of grass but one.
Yeah.
99 and 35 inches.
Yeah.
And it's every blade of turf, not grass. Remember that.
That's right. That is right out of Beach. Yeah.
Was this game at Chaco Island?
Was. Yeah. Beach finishes 8-1. Hendersonville's 4-5. We'll get to their respective matchups in just a minute. Station Camp knocks off Portland 41-21 to the Bison get back to 500.
Yeah, and Portland's unfortunately just had too many injuries here at the back half of the season. They've kind of fell off a little bit from what we expected them to be at the start of the year and what they were looking like. Honestly, it's just a unfortunate turn of events for the Panthers. And if you're a Station Camp fan, you got to be excited that the defense showed up a little bit, which is a huge sign for you in the postseason because the offense has been there all year.
100%.
Yeah. It's good to see Coach Bain's guys get back in the win column and take a region victory. And no knock on Portland, but you look at Portland's record and Station Camp's in there identical. But Station Camp has been giving people problems offensively all year long. So this result was good to see for the Bison.
Yep. And with those identical records, the tiebreaker goes to Station Camp, which puts Portland on the road in the first round. Station Camp will be at home. We'll talk about that in a second. Dixon County falls 48-17 to Kenwood in that Region 7 5A finale. Cougars are 6-4, and they will also be on the road in the first round. On that bracket, Hendersonville is going to go to Page in a rematch of a game that was canceled earlier this year when we had all the weather issues. They'll run it back in Rudderville next week. Lawson will go to Beach, and then Portland at Nolensville, Dixon County at Memphis Central, and Station Camp will host Centennial.
Yeah, Station Camp Centennial may be another Antioch FRA type game.
I was going to say, bring your running shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, me. Then Nolensville, Portland, I would have loved to have seen this matchup if Portland was healthy.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. A potential second round matchup here for Beach with Mumford is a intriguing matchup for sure. And I say that because Mumford, they were undefeated until last night when Memphis Central knocked them off in a close fought game, and they've got a really good running back. They play a similar type of game as Beach, a little bit of a physical running game for the most part. But they have the home run threat, so it'll be interesting to see if Beach can continue to wear on people offensively and the defense still show up for Beach. It's a very intriguing second round matchup, and then a Page Kirkwood game would be really, really fun too.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, then you're looking at that quarterfinal, which I think a lot of people are licking their chops if Beach and Page do indeed meet up.
Oh, yeah, that's the game we all deserve. I mean, nothing against anybody, but a game like that is a game we deserve.
That game will feed families. Might even fund the government. I don't know.
I don't know. It might. But there's a couple. I'm going to say something. I know it's out of our territory, but Kenwood, what a turnaround for that program. Really good job by the Knights up there. And then Henry County looking very strong late. So, I mean, there are some teams in here that could be sleepers.
Yep. All right. Let's take a quick break and talk about the fine folks at AccuWorks who are sponsoring the 615 Prep Scoreboard and also our weekly show as well. AccuWorks is a full-service property damage restoration company that offers around-the-clock emergency service 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for the past 20 years in Middle Tennessee. Jeff Stockton and his team of industry veterans specialize in restoration projects for your home or business, fire restoration, smoke cleaning, water damage and mold remediation, storm damage restoration, general contracting, and much more. Our commitment is to assess each situation quickly and correctly to provide you the most efficient and complete restoration plan that meets your specific needs. AccuWorks performs emergency service and restoration for property owners across Middle Tennessee. With locations in Nashville and near you, our professional staff are minutes away from helping with your property damage emergency. Quality work, professionalism, and integrity have been the backbone of our company since 2006. Call us now at 615-292-2009, toll free 888-779-2228, or visit our website at AccuWorks.com. All right, let's get into 4A, where Upperman got its revenge for last year over Macon County 48-17. The Bees were already Region 4 4A champions. They cap it off with that big win.
Yeah, just way too much Bronson Chaffin in this game. 105 yards passing, 235 yards rushing, three rushing touchdowns. Just Upperman, getting back, I guess, maybe for last year. But, Macon County is going to be better, I think, even next year. Matthew Wheely had a good night, a couple of rushing touchdowns. But Upperman right now, that team's rolling.
They are. What they've been able to do in the passing game with their athletes out wide, mostly Elijah Fitz. He's a track star. He can absolutely fly. To go along with the physical run game that Bronson Chaffin brings at 6'3", 6'4", 240 pounds. They're going to be a tough out, but like I mentioned earlier, a tough draw. Potentially getting Alcoa in the second round, but we talk about Michigan football in 6A. I know they're outside of our area. Bronson Chaffin, guys, it's baffling to me that he has not been a finalist or won it the last 2 years.
I second that. He's a difference maker. Absolutely.
Yep. DeKalb County is going to end their season on a high note, 33-14 winners over Livingston Academy. The Tigers will finish at 4-6. And it was also announced last night that Steve Trapp is stepping down at DeKalb County as well.
I hate that because he is such a quality man. He is such a good guy. So I hate it for the kids at DeKalb County who won't get to be under his coaching. But what a great man. Nothing but the best for him in the future.
And took that program to heights that they had not seen before he came along. So obviously wishing him all the best. They'll look for a new head coach in this offseason. Livingston Academy also out of the playoff bracket on the eastern half of 4A. And only team that we've got over there is Macon County. They're going to play Red Bank, I believe, for the third consecutive season. And they'll have to go back to Chattanooga to do it again.
Yeah, wonder if they will. Wonder if they'll go down for on Thursday, like they did. I think they've done it the last 2 years.
I think they have.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that. That's a different approach that a lot of teams don't take. It's worked for them, so we'll see if it does again. Greenville, the number 1 seed out of Region 1, they'll host Carter. White County's traveling to Hickson. Anderson County, who took Region 2 last with that win over Alcoa, they're going to host Volunteer. It's Loudon at Stowe Memorial. Macon County, Red Bank, as we mentioned. Gibbs will go to Elizabethton. Opperman will host Signal Mountain, and Alcoa will take on Cherokee.
Yeah, a couple second-round games there that have possibilities of being really good, Upperman and Alcoa. We talk a lot about Alcoa and almost like it's a foregone conclusion, but, not only is, Upperman's looking at it that we're not locked in here with Alcoa. Alcoa's locked in here with us. So the other one looks like is Stowe Memorial in Anderson County. That sets up to be a very interesting match.
Yeah, and that potential Upperman Alcoa game. I think they've only played one other time, and oddly enough, Upperman had a Michigan football player in Connor York, still holds some state records. It was not pretty at all, and it will be interesting to see if Upperman recalls any of that. That was under previous coaches, I believe. So
it was,
75-18 was the final.
That was in 2013. That was a semifinal game, but they have also played one other time in 2018 in the semifinals. That was a little more closer, but 27-14 Alcoa.
Yeah, so and that's what type of ball game it needs to be for Upperman to have a shot. It needs to be a mid-20s physical. Bronson Chaffin's got to show up, and he's got to be the man, so to speak. But that's what's got to happen for Upperman to win the football game. But yeah, the second round matchups in this top half are going to be great. Potentially Greenville, White County, another good football game there. Anderson County, Stone Memorial, another fun football game there. That one could be a track meet. Both teams throw the thing around. Macon County or Red Bank against Elizabethton probably would be interesting. But don't count out Gibbs either. Gibbs actually knocked off Anderson County this year, so this top half is just absolutely loaded.
Yeah, we'll get into more of what Macon County's got to do this week against Red Bank in our show on Wednesday.
Yep. On to the western half, Marshall County takes out Creekwood 47-15. That was a Thursday nighter in Region 5. Tigers win Region 5. Creekwood finishes 3-7.
Started off rough for Creekwood. They got Got better as the season went on, but I think it ends here, right?
No,
Are they in? Oh, they in? Okay. Oh, good. Good for them.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about them in just a bit.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of somebody else.
They're the number 3 seed out of Region 5.
Okay.
They'll be on the road in the first round.
Okay.
Cone knocks off Liberty Creek 42-10. They had already won the region, but they knock it. They finish it in style.
Yeah, Pearl Cone. LJ Funk. Their starters didn't play the entire game. LJ Funk, 115 yards passing. LaDamian Hunter, 3 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. Had a big man pick 6 by Isaiah Anthony, defensive tackle for Pearl. Marziah Hale, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, 113 yards rushing for Liberty Creek.
Good for Greenbrier to finish off on a high note. They shut out West Creek 42-0. They won't miss the postseason. They'll finish 2-8, but Bobcats ended it in the right way.
Yeah, I've been out there twice this year. I was very happy to see this score. These kids absolutely play their hearts out. Coach Elmore is a quality man. It was good to see them finish it off with a win.
Yep. I haven't shown any highlights yet, but we're about to do that right now. Springfield hosted White House, so we'll get those going for you real quick. Obviously, the backflip, the air in that backflip, absolutely outstanding. Springfield also going out with those helmets too, looking like the old San Diego Chargers. But here's Jeremiah Beard going to open things up for the Yellow Jackets, 7-0 on that touchdown off the sweep. And a closer look at those helmets as well. It's an absolutely sharp look.
Oh, San Diego never looked that good.
Kason Woodson's going to take it himself again in the act. He's going to in the end zone for Springfield, 14-0 there. Jaden Schultz for White House is going to find Tyler Sipp on this touchdown pass. It'll be 14-7. And Woodson's going to have to find a little bit more offense here. He's going to do just that. Taking the snaps, he's going to find Bryce Baldwin on the short pass and a couple of tackles, nice broken tackles by Baldwin that he's going to take it the distance here. 21-7 Springfield, and the Yellow Jackets look to be rolling, but White House didn't go away. Schultz will find Jake Soporowski here right before the half as White House cuts that lead to 21-14 at the break. To the second half we go. Kason Woodson and Jermaine Cobbins gets behind the defense. He's in the end zone, 28-14 Yellow Jackets. That came after a forced fumble to start the second half. And at that point, Springfield started to assert themselves. Woodson out of the shotgun, going to find Jeremiah Beard. Looked off the defender. Beard wide open in the end zone, 35-14. That was after an onside kick as well. And then Lamarius Allen, he gets into the act. He's in the end zone here for Springfield. Avoids the shirt tuck, gets into the end zone. It's 42-14 Springfield. Then the defense will have their turn on this one. Bryce Baldwin gets the interception, and Springfield is going to roll to a 42-14 win over White House. They'll finish 9-1.
Kason Woodson, tremendous night, solidifying his case for making the Mr. Football conversation. 5 of 10 for 146 and 3 touchdowns. He rushed for 89 yards in the score. He was almost all the offense that they needed. But hey, Jaden Schultz, what a game! 20 of 28 for 193, a couple scores. White House is they're young, but they're building that program back under Atlee Pond.
So that's going to shape out the western half of 4A like this. It would be Liberty Creek going to Marshall County. Lakeland Prep will visit Dyer County. Pearl Cone will host Battle Creek. Crockett County at Kirby. Millington at South Gibson. White House on the road at Spring Hill. Lexington goes to Haywood, and Springfield will be at home hosting Creekwood.
Spring Hill White House game. That's a game that White House can win there. Springfield Creekwood, they not too far apart there. Might call that the Spears Bowl. But How'd you like to be Battle Creek? Hey, you made the playoffs. Now you're going to Pearl.
Well, it's year one, I believe, right?
It is.
For Battle Creek.
Gotta
So
take
you take it. you
Yeah.
might be a little bit upset, but you take it. Not many programs make the playoffs in year one, so that's a sign of potential things to come there for they're the Grizzlies, I believe, right?
Yes,
Yep, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
Yeah, this one sets up kind of odd. As the area we cover, we have the semifinal potential circled, and we're hoping for that. But both of these teams have tough matchups to get through to get there. Springfield, a second round game with Haywood at Haywood. I know Joe's absolutely dreading that ride out to Brownsville, but and then on the top half you've got Marshall County and Pearl Cone. That's a game where Pearl Cone would have to go. That's a game where a game where Pearl Cone would have to go back to Marshall County and try to knock them off. And if I'm not mistaken, that's who put them out. That's who beat Marshall County, and Marshall County beat them in the regular season, and then Pearl went and beat them in the postseason, I believe. Both of those games were at Marshall County, I believe. So,
yeah, that's a history there for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a region game the last 4 years.
It used to be, it isn't now, but they split that big north to south region up to create what's now Region 5 and 6, essentially. Moving over to 3A, we'll start on that eastern half. The only team we have over there is Watertown. They fall to Forest 35-28, and the Rockets are going to get in the higher seed over Watertown with that.
Yeah, I mean, Forrest, what is his name? It's slipping my mind, running back there.
Quincy Mitchell.
Forrest. Yeah, Quincy Mitchell. Thank you. I don't know how I missed that. Evidently, this game, I don't have stats on it, but just evidently ran wild in this one. But Watertown stayed with them. Watertown's a good team.
Watertown is a good team, but as you'll see in a little bit, their worst case scenario happened.
Yeah. It wasn't lost on Isaac last night.
We'll go ahead and get to that bracket real quick. They're the 4th seed in Region 4, and it's going to put them on the road at Tyner.
Yeah, the one team in this top half you do not. Well, there's two teams clearly that you don't want to play, but they're probably you do not want to play Tyner. Tyner, in my opinion, is a pretty substantial favorite here to get to Chattanooga, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, we saw them give Nashville Christian, 3/4 and a part of a game. So I mean, they are explosive and got speed on top of speed.
Yeah, and they're young. They have power forward talent out wide and in the secondary. It's a tough draw for Watertown, no doubt. And it's going to be interesting to see. The top half, although they doesn't include a 615 area code team, but Squatchy Megs in the second round. That's going to be a potential slobber knocker physical football game. And then the question for me that I've had ever since we found out Alcoa was moving up was Gatlinburg Pittman. Gatlinburg Pittman has had a couple teams over the last 4 or 5 years that were probably good enough to make it to Chattanooga and potentially even win a state championship, but they ran into Alcoa.
Yeah.
Can they finally get their shot? Can Gatlinburg Pittman finally get to Chattanooga?
Yep. That road's going to include a visit from Kingston of the first round, and then they'll get the 4th Chattanooga Prep winner in round 2. Johnson County goes to Meigs County. Brainerd at Sequatchie County, Sweetwater, Unicoi County, Chattanooga Central at Giles County, and then Pigeon Forge visits McMinn Central to cap the other half of that bracket.
Giles County jumped up last night and beat Sequatchie. That Giles County team, you don't hear a lot about them, but they're sneaky good.
Yep. Well, they also hung 34 on Page in week 1, and I said that they were one of the favorites on the eastern side in 3A, and although they've had some inconsistencies throughout the season, they won the region, and they're right here with a shot to potentially play Tyner in the quarters. So,
right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Cam, you were over at Westmoreland last night, and I got an incorrect graphic, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Talk about White House Heritage Westmoreland for a minute while I do that.
Yeah, the easiest way to put that one, Joe actually sent me a GIF after I posted the halftime score of 0-0. He sent me a dinosaur throwing a rock at another dinosaur, and that was about what it was. It was an old-fashioned rock fight at the rock pile. Defense on defense on defense. It seemed like it seemed like one team was about to score, and then they would either turn the ball over, or there would be a big play from the defensive side of the ball to get the other team behind the chains, get them in a 2nd and 17, 3rd and 15 type scenario. So it was a great football game to watch, especially if you like small school football and physical football. It was hard hitting. Both teams left it all out there. Heritage scored first in the 3rd quarter on a 33-yard touchdown pass that I missed getting video for because a 12-year-old kid asked me to retrieve his phone that somehow he dropped on the other side of the fence. But sucks to be a nice guy, I guess. But so I missed that video. Westmoreland answers in the 4th quarter on it was like a 50-yard touchdown pass on 4th and 10. They went for it on 4th and 10 near midfield. Was able to complete a pass and score to tie it up 7-7 after a not so great Heritage punt. Westmoreland had the ball inside Heritage territory, and they picked up a couple first downs. They went for the field goal with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the ball game. It was a 28-yarder, and it was blocked by multiple Heritage players. It ping-ponged off of multiple players, so I couldn't tell you which one it hit first. But they blocked it. The game wound up going into overtime, and Westmoreland wound up going for it on 4th and goal from the 4 on their try. Pass ruled incomplete. My point of view from directly behind the receiver. I can't tell you that it wasn't incomplete, but I can't tell you it was complete. It's very, very hard to see from the angle that I have. If you're a Westmoreland fan, he caught the football, and if you're a Heritage fan, it was incomplete. That's about what I can tell you. And Heritage took 2 plays and scored on a Kel Hunt 1-yard run, and they win the region 13-7.
Yeah. It was what we said. We knew it was going to come. It was going to be defense in this game, and there wasn't going to be a lot of scoring. And oh gosh,
you knew he had to say something.
Oh man! But yeah, good for White House Heritage having to find a new way to win this year. After the way that they played last year, which was just breaking scoreboard lights every game, to going to and this is all just excellent work by Coach Murray. Knowing what he has in his players and adjusting his offense and his defense to fit their profile, and he wins the region with this team.
Yeah, that's a 7-3 finish for Heritage, and it's a Westmoreland team that has given a lot of other teams problems this year just because they play so strong defensively. Thought that that's a good question. How many games has Westmoreland gone to overtime this season? They've had multiple.
Yeah,
White House, White House, Whites Creek, Heritage.
Yeah, so at least 3.
Yeah, at least 3.
Yeah. And this is a team that graduated their their best players last year, and they're still up there competing for a region championship. You got to give a lot of credit to this program and these kids. And they'll get to continue.
Yeah, and They will continue under Coach Harris. There's no doubt about it. He's been a long-time defense coordinator there. He's now the head man. It was, if you never had a chance to go watch Westmoreland play and watch him coach as a guy that calls the defense, it's pretty wild. At one point in the third quarter, I was telling Michaela about this. At one point in the third quarter, Heritage has the football, and Coach Harris goes, "It's a speed sweep to zero going that way. It's a speed sweep going to zero going that way." And Zero turns and looks at Xavier Murray, and he's like, "What do we do?" And Xavier Murray said, he gave the motion like, "Let's run it." And it was a speed sweep to zero going the way that Coach Harris said. So,
yeah, always fun when they have the game plan figured out, at least on the play.
You got to change up your signals.
Yeah. Maplewood shuts out Stratford 33-0 in a game that decided third place in this region.
What a game. What a result for Chris Simpson's guys here. Maplewood, really, this is a team's been a program that's been down for the last few years. And, they come back and play as well as they played this year and given a lot of teams fits and, with a great result for the Panthers.
Yeah, and they played Heritage 11-8. They played they played Westmoreland 21-20. It took a blocked extra point for Westmoreland to knock off Maplewood. So,
yeah,
this Maplewood team is right there. They're 4 points away from a region championship, which is definitely a testament to what they've got going on and how quickly they're turning that program around.
Oh yeah, Coach Simpson he's done amazing work.
Whites Creek wins at Cumberland County 34-6 in a non-region game. They will finish their season 7-3, but unfortunately will not be advancing to the postseason.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. A 7-3 season is hard to call a disappointment, but there's no doubt about it that coach and the players are disappointed. They started the year, I believe it was 6-0, and then they had 3 straight losses, and unfortunately they were all region games to teams that they couldn't afford losses to if they wanted to make the postseason. They were my surprise team this year. 7-3 is not far off of what I was thinking for them, but I expected them to get into the postseason, and unfortunately that didn't happen. They've got a lot of promising pieces coming back, though. This team is going to be fun to watch for the years to come if those pieces stay.
Yeah, that is the brutal part of the format to decide playoff teams, is that you could have a really good regular season as far as your record's concerned, but if you lose the wrong 3 games, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the way the math worked out for them, but that they will not make the postseason even with a 7-3 record. Sycamore rolled up a 50-30 win over Cheatham County. The War Eagles will finish 6-4 in the regular season.
Sycamore playing very, very well, especially offensively, as you can tell by this total. This year they have lit it up this year. But it's good to see Cheatham County gave them a game. They had a really good season as well, considering they played all last year without a stadium. Every one of their games was an away game. But I don't have anything on this. I'm interested to see what I'll get it backwards.
Hicks Hunter.
Hicks Hunter.
Yeah.
Hicks Hunter. I had it right. I'm interested to see what his results were because he is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and was this the last score before the brackets, or
no? We're still got a couple more to go.
Okay. Well, I'll say what I was going to say when we get to the bracket.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and talk about the region championship battle with 6-3A, and congratulations to Fairview as they get a 29-28 win over Fairview, or over Waverly, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, found a way to get it done. They found a way to get it done. Waverly's played in a ton of close games. Fairview's played in their fair share of close games too. And outside of that Sycamore game, this Fairview team has had an unbelievable season. They're a team in 3A that I wouldn't want to play them right now. I mean, they're clicking when it matters.
The Yellow Jackets rebounded from that loss at Sycamore and have played strong ball down the stretch, and they'll be the number 1 seed out of Region 6. Harpeth falls to Camden 34-0, and the Lions are going to be the 3 seed out of Region 6, while Harpeth will miss out of the postseason as a result.
Yeah, it was just a tough year for the Indians.
Bracket's going to look like this. Actually, we'll start on the eastern half. We've actually gone through. Have we gone through those?
Yeah, we went through the eastern half. Yep.
Yeah. I'll pull the bracket up real quick. We'll talk it. Go ahead and talk about that camp because you were going to mention it.
Yeah, at White House Heritage in Westmoreland last night, we stuck around and talked to some friends and some people that we know there at Westmoreland. And while they were disappointed, they kind of already knew, and I think they got the better draw. I mean, you don't have to worry about 600 in round one. That's a plus, and in past history, Westmoreland has struggled when a team has that kind of player, the it guy. Westmoreland has struggled to contain him enough to try to get a win. And if you're Heritage, you get Sycamore again that knocked you off 2 weeks ago in overtime, 16-13. So it's going to be another rock fight for Heritage, and Westmoreland gets to play at the Rock Pile against Camden, and it's going to be interesting to see if Westmoreland can find enough offense in the postseason, because the defense is going to be there. The defense, in my opinion, is going to keep teams at the bare minimum in the low 20s. So if they can find the offense to get there, can they beat Camden, and then can they pull off an upset? Can they beat a make sure I was going to have this right? Yeah. Can they go to Westview and compete? You're probably not winning that football game, but can you go compete? Can you make it interesting? Can you make them earn it? That's what you have to do if you're Westmoreland, if you can get to that second round game. But yeah, I like the first round matchup better for Westmoreland against Camden than it would have been if it was Sycamore.
Yeah, that's you definitely wanted to win that if you were Fairview. It sets you up pretty good, at least going for the next couple of games, I think. Yeah, that Sycamore White House Heritage game, boy, what a contrast, though. You've got a really good defensive team going up against a really good offensive team. It's going to be a very interesting game to see which whether the immovable object beats the unstoppable force.
And then the other games of note there, Maple will go to Waverly in round 1, and then Stratford will head out to Fairview.
And Westmoreland, if they can manage to get that, they get Westview, most likely.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. We'll get some other scores here in just a second. Kind of dealing with another bug or so I'm going to fix that real quick. But real quick, just to talk about the rest of 3A as a whole. 3A kind of more open now with Alcoa gone.
It is. Go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I was just going to say, I know that kind of just reiterating what you had said, Cam, is that Gatlinburg Pittman, gets their shot, but they can't afford to stumble. And that's the thing, because, you can't think that it's wide open for you and then overlook what it's going to take to get to Chattanooga. I know they're the favorite right now, but it's not out of the realm of possibility for one of those other teams in 3A to take that away from them.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to see. Westview was able to run the gauntlet in that region. That region is extremely tough with Westview, Covington, Dyersburg. All three of those teams are very, very good, and I think all three of those teams should win their first round games probably. A Dyersburg Fairview matchup in the second round is it's a tough draw for Fairview, but it is what it is. Out of the three, you would probably want to play Dyersburg instead of Covington or Westview. But yeah, Westview has absolutely got to be the favorite. They're extremely talented on the offense side of the ball, and they're pretty good on the defense side of the ball to boot. So somebody's going to have to force Westview to make mistakes. And as we've seen through, he played 15 last year. He's played 10 this year through 25 games in Graham Simpson's high school career so far. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's a very, very, very good quarterback. I think he's going to wind up being better than his older brother, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. And Cam's sitting there go to Tennessee, go to Tennessee.
I just don't want him to go to Alabama.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sitting here going, hey, Kentucky's nice this time of year.
Fair enough.
But no, what's it? Dyersburg. I got to see them up close a couple of years ago. How are they going to if they and Fairview both match up? What's it going to take for Fairview, you think, to get past them?
They got to play their brand of football. That's postseason is about stylistic matchups, and it's about who can play their game the best. And for Fairview, yeah. Fairview, they have to be able to run the football. That's their bell cow. That's where it all starts. They have to be able to run the football. They have to be able to control the clock, control the line of scrimmage. You control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, you got a shot to win playoff games. That's where it starts. As I said, I think that's the team out of the three that you would want to play first if you could.
Right.
So I'm not saying that Fairview doesn't have a shot in that game. I do think they have a shot in that game, but it's a tough draw for sure.
Yep. All right, let's go on to 2A and keep on rolling. Gordonsville takes down Smith County 29-7. They finished 10-0.
Great season for Gordonsville. Yeah. They I was trying to see what Turner Butcher, 122 yards on the ground. Lee Skurlock, a couple touchdowns. Defense held Smith County to 94 yards of total offense, no passing yards, and 2 picks. So Gordonsville's defense has been playing extremely well all year long.
Yeah, defense has always been there, and then I think it was the Fayetteville game in like week 3 or week 4, the offense decided to show up, and ever since Gordonsville's been a juggernaut.
Yep.
Yeah, that loss will drop Smith County to the 3 seed because Cannon County did take care of business against Charleston County 39-0. The Lions will be the number 2 seed.
Eli Garrett, just a tremendous game, 14 of 22 for 268 and 3 touchdowns. Cannon County is really turned it around, looking really good offensively. But this result is really good for them because it shows that their defense is just doing just as well.
Right. Bracket on the east half of 2A. Cannon County is going to be at home against Grundy County. Smith County on the road at Bledsoe County. Gordonsville at home will take on York Institute.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Gordonsville and Marion County set to potentially play in the quarters and not the semis. Although I think that is a semifinal type matchup. I said it last night on the Instagram Live. I think they will play in 3 weeks, and I think the winner will play in Chattanooga. It's pretty simple. Gordonsville's York. We also mentioned York Institute last night. That York's playing their best ball right now. Knocked off Monterey to get that 4th spot, and then played Marion County to a touchdown. So that'll be a good test for Gordonsville early, especially from a physical standpoint. And then if you're Marion County, you've got to figure some things out. You've played well this season, and you lost the Pickett kid from last year, but Mason Mays, I believe, is the kid's name. They have a Mr. Football type player that plays both sides for them. Very, very, very talented football team. But yeah, the top half is wide open. And you mentioned the team, but Cannon County, if they can get past that second round game, guys, they could be potentially hosting a semi, which is pretty wild to think about.
I was going to ask you that of all the teams, that Canyon may face if they get past Grundy County, who is their biggest threat?
Eagleton, and it's I don't know if y'all know this story on Eagleton or not. It continues to add to the mystique to Blount County. It's a new small school in Blount County, which is also the same county as Alcoa and the same county as Maryville. So,
oh gosh,
yeah,
that's not fair. What are they putting in the water up there? Is the question.
Not sure, but there's something over there. It's that's pumping out the programs, but yeah. Was going to have East Robertson, East Nashville highlights up next. Unfortunately, technology has failed me this morning. Those will be up on our YouTube channel little later tonight. So the apologies to those looking for those highlights. We'll have those a little later on, but we will talk about that game. East Nashville wins 32-22. Back and forth first half, Scott.
That's wrong.
Yeah, it is 32-22. East Robertson. I'll have to fix that. This is what you get when you go up till 3 o'clock in the morning putting a scoreboard together.
No, I feel that.
Scott, I'll let you talk about this because you were there with me while I fixed that score.
Yeah, East Nashville started out hot. Came out throwing, did really move the ball really well. They started out and with a long pass, but then East Robertson really just wanted to stay with the run. The big thing talking to Coach Brooks was they knew East Nashville had speed. They did not want to go with them speed for speed. They wanted to grind the ball. And what did they do? They handed the ball to Zach Groves. It was the Zach Groves. Every short yardage, they ran him as much or more than McNeil. Zach Groves running downhill was just a runaway freight train, especially near the goal line. He ended up scoring 3 touchdowns on the night. But to me, the big story of this one was, well, there were 2 big stories. One, the ability of East Robertson to get to the quarterback. They kept East Nashville off kilter they couldn't set up the big long passes a lot. And then they made sure tackles when they did throw them out to the side and in the flat. Oh gosh, I had it in my head. There's another Groves on the scene.
There's
Number 6, Chris.
Yeah,
Chris really showed up in this game. Defensively, he was locking down the East Nashville receiving core, making plays. And when they needed a big play to extend drives, they found him on the field. They found him wherever he was at. He was the one who made the big plays. And that was a huge deal. I thought was the emergence, the ability of East Robertson to get Dallas off of where he wanted to sit back and be able to throw, because he looked really good in warm-ups. I mean, everything he was throwing was out in front. If you give him time, he will absolutely kill you.
And he actually had a couple of instances where he had time. He had the 80-yarder that Cortez Murphy hauled into the catch and run that put him in front in the first half. And then late in the game, he had one to Damian Elder, which was with 10 seconds to go after the game was out of hand. But, I mean, when he's got time, he can find his guys in stride and make you pay for it. But East Robertson, like you said, did a good job of disrupting that and keeping him off balance a lot and forcing him to do some things he didn't really want to do.
Yeah, this is ultimately what makes East Robertson so dangerous. They can play I just mentioned the styles in the postseason. They can play multiple styles, which you don't see often. They can line up and grind one out physically like this, or they can have K Brooks run go patterns 15 times a game for, averaging 30 plus yards a catch, which is insane. They can do multiple things. And then, as you said, Scott, defensively, they're just solid. They're good up front. Secondary is experienced. They got a lot of seniors on this team. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Indians, while the West Side and 2A's definitely got more teams in it that have a chance to make it to Chattanooga, it's going to be interesting to see if the Indians can write the storybook.
Well, they played as physical as anybody that I've seen play against Nashville Christian this year. They definitely played well in the trenches, and but East Nashville, they just regrouped from this, and they're going to be fine. They are very, very potent.
Yeah, East Nashville will be at home against Adamsville in round 1, while East Robertson will host Riverside on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, that potential second round game with East Nashville and Fairleigh, that would be a fun one to go watch if you feel like going to Memphis. That is going to be that potentially would be a really, really, really fun game to watch. Athletes all over the place. Probably a lot of points in that game. That one would be fun. I'm just glad the way it shapes up. Looking at it from afar here, the two best teams in this side, in my opinion, East Robertson and probably Milan, would actually get to play in the semis, which is what you want.
Yep. Other matchups there: Houston County at Lewis County, Memphis Business goes to Huntington, Peabody at Mitchell, MASE at Milan, East Hickman at Mount Pleasant, Jackson Central Mary at Fairleigh, in addition to those ones we mentioned just a minute ago. To 1A we go. Okay,
go back real quick. Just to clarify, we've talked about it a couple times, but I just want to clarify it so that way people can understand it. East Robertson makes it to the quarters here, and they're facing Huntington potentially as the 2 seed. Huntington would host that game, yeah?
Yeah, it would be, yeah. If they're not in the same region, whoever's on the top side of the bracket in the quarters would host. So even though East Robertson's a 1 seed and Huntington's a 2, Huntington would be the home team. This has been it's been that format for several years. That's not new to this season, because that hasn't changed.
That's a long bus ride.
Yep. Yeah, and then if East Robertson was to get by that game, they would indeed host the semifinal with whoever comes out of the bottom half of that bracket.
Yeah,
I would agree with that, Joe.
But yeah, it is dumb. It's dumb. It's a flaw in the system where seeding doesn't matter, and it's determined basically by a year-by-year basis. It flip-flops, and if you're a top seed in the quarterfinals, you should host. If it's not another top seed,
yeah.
If they're the same seed, great. We can alternate year by year, fine. But if a 1 seed should host a 2 seed in the quarterfinals, not the other way around. That we got to fix that.
Yeah.
On to 1A, and we'll start with Region 4, where Innovation Academy knocked off Red Bowling Springs 19-16 to get the number 3 seed in that region.
Yeah. Innovation Academy picked up a late touchdown to give them the lead over Red Bowling when it looked like the Bulldogs might pick up their first win.
Innovation Academy will finish 2-8. They do get a region win. Red Bowling Springs 0-10, but that is a 4-team region, and everybody's in the postseason. Joe Burns falls at Clay County 46-21. The Red Devils will be the number 2 seed in Region 4, while Clay County wins the region title.
Clay County is very, very good.
Yeah. All right. So Innovation Academy will travel to Sale Creek in round 1. Red Bowling Springs at South Pittsburgh, while Joe Burns will host Whitwell in a game that they had played just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they'll get a chance to get back at Whitwell for that loss. They did lose that game, if I'm not mistaken, but it was a close one, I believe. That has a potential to be a very good game. Was the first time So, but how about Innovation Academy? First year in it. Yeah, agreed. They, everybody made the playoffs, but they didn't finish last. So, good for them. Get in the playoffs, get that exposure this year for the Sentinels.
Yeah, it's this top half in 1A is it goes through South Pitt. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Clay County, I believe, has some pieces to potentially make that game interesting. But the top half don't know a lot about Hampton. Most of the time, when Hampton finishes as the one in their region, they're pretty solid, and that is an extremely tough place to go play. They might even bring a truck out on the field and pull down the goalpost after they beat you. Yeah, it's a fun place to go to, though. If you ever get a chance to go to Hampton, it's about a 5-hour ride for us here in Middle Tennessee, which is hard to believe, but it's over literally in the mountains. And in the semifinal time, there's already snow caps on the mountains, so it's really, really fun to watch and see. And Hampton Coalfield potentially in the top half, and I'm looking Clay County, South Pitt in the bottom half, and South Pitt would potentially, or Clay County, either one would have to go to Coalfield or Hampton.
Yep. Switch gears to that western half where Eagleville fell to Fayetteville 20-7, and the Eagles finished 6-4, and it's going to put them on the road in the first round.
Yeah, rough game for Eagleville, but Jonathan Jordan again had a good game, rushed for a touchdown, had 6 tackles, a pick, and blocked a kick on defense. So Jonathan Jordan continues to do it all for the Eagles.
And they will go to McEwen in round 1 on the bottom half of that bracket. As Fayetteville takes the 2 seed away from them, they'll host Wayne County in the first round. Other games on that bracket: Collinwood at Richland, Westwood at South Fulton, Huntland at McKenzie, Greenfield at Oak Haven, Middleton at Dresden, and Humboldt at Memphis Middle College.
Yeah, Richland has that Richland McKenzie battle could be something up there, but I'm looking at the Dresden just simply because my son-in-law went there. So
yeah, honestly, I don't think it's a horrible draw for Eagle. I think Eagle's got a pretty decent shot to potentially make a quarterfinal here. Once you get there, you're looking at probably the winner of Fayetteville and Dresden. And the big thing, if you're Eagleville's the only team in our coverage area on this side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The biggest thing, you're on the opposite side of McKenzie. Last year, you wound up having to play McKenzie in the first round, I believe. You want to put that game off as far as you can. You got to take care of business until you get there, and then you got to try to find a way to win that one. McKenzie's really, really good again this year. There's no secret in 1A. Barring something happening, we're heading to a surprise, another South Pitt versus McKenzie game.
Yep. All right, real quickly, let's take a quick break to talk about AccuWorks. When disaster strikes your home or office, you need the experts at AccuWorks to get your property back on its feet fast. Jeff Stockton and his team of industry veterans are experienced in restoration of your home or place of work due to water or storm damage, fire and smoke damage, and mold contamination. AccuWorks performs emergency service and restoration for property owners across Middle Tennessee. With locations in Nashville and across Middle Tennessee, our professional staff are minutes away from helping with your property damage emergency. Call Jeff Stockton and his team at AccuWorks today at 615-292-2009 or toll free at 888-779-2228. All right. Bring everybody back in here real quick, and we'll start talking about Division II. CPA falls at McCauley 34-13. The Lions will finish 2-8 and be on the road in the first round.
Yeah, I'll butcher some French here. Keyshawn Tabito, Vandy commit, 9 for 134 and 4 touchdowns in this game, as McCauley just threw the ball over the place. But CPA not with Rawls Patterson. I don't think that they had another. I think Owen Cabell was also out of this game. So CPA without two of their big time playmakers, this is a result. You got to have all hands on deck when you're playing the Blue Tornado.
At 1-4 in region play, they will be the 6th seed out of the East region. Ensworth 28-7 winners over MBA. The Tigers were already the number 2 seed. MBA will finish as the 4 as a result.
Yeah, Ensworth. This is about how when we talked about it Wednesday, we thought it might go. Is that their offensive ability would just kind of outshine and wear down the NBA defense, who has been very, very good this year.
Tigers are 7-3 with that win. NBA falls to 5-4. Brentwood Academy 30-22 winners over Lipscomb Academy. The Mustangs put up quite a fight.
Yeah, this was a sloppy game. At 27 penalties for 255 yards in this game. There were 3 interceptions, a fumble. It was just a sloppy game all the way around. But Larry Sanders, 25 carries, 216 yards, and a couple scores. Cruz Jenkins threw for 2. But Lipscomb Academy did something that not a whole lot of teams do. They dominated time of possession. 30 minutes and 55 seconds to 17:50, but they only converted 4 out of 17. They had 17 third downs and only converted 4 of them. J.C. White threw for 187 yards and a couple scores, and Cam Blivens caught 7 for 88 yards and a touchdown, but he also was 1 for 3 passing with a touchdown.
Eagles will finish at 9-0. They're the number 1 seed out of the West region. Lipscomb Academy will be the number 3 and will host a playoff game next week. Thursday night, Father Ryan fell to Christian Brothers 31-10 to finish 1-9. Father Ryan will be on the road. They're the 6th seed out of the West. Christian Brothers is the 4 out of the West region.
It's a tough season for the Fighting Mettenbergers there.
Yeah, Father Ryan will be on the road at Baylor in round 1. Actually, Baylor's the first round by CP. They'll be on the road at McCallie in round 1. They'll go to Chattanooga, but it's at McCallie. CPA will travel just a couple miles over to Lipscomb Academy, and then Ensworth has a first round bye. So does Brentwood Academy. MBA gets MUS at home.
Yeah, I think a team that nobody can sleep on here is Briarcrest Christian. I think they're a young team. They've been in a lot of games this year. McCallie having to potentially go on a very long road trip to Memphis to go play them. And they're pretty similar to Ensworth, which we saw knock off McCallie. So that potentially could be an upset there. So if you're a Chattanooga area fan, you may not get your Baylor versus McCallie game this year in the postseason. And then on the lower half, NBA take care of business, and it's exactly what we hoped for, and it's an all 6-1-5 lower half here until we get to Chattanooga. Where if NBA takes care of business, we're guaranteed a team in this state championship game. It's that simple.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the season, not something we would have really expected. I mean, we thought it could happen, but didn't really expect it. But Ensworth, with their win over McCallie, shook everything up.
I was going to say, everybody on the bottom side of the bracket just needs to turn towards Ensworth and just tip their cap. But yeah, I mean, change the entire landscape of the playoffs for this area. But yeah, Cam, you're right. Briarcrest Christian has been playing extremely well. And boy, did they get a tough row to hoe. Likely getting McCallie in the second round. They beat McCallie. They're going to have to face likely Baylor. So good thing that they are playing very well, because they're going to have to.
Yeah. The postseason game between Baylor and McCallie, if it were to happen, would be on campus and not at Finley Stadium this time, which should be quite an atmosphere.
Yeah. I tell you, that first round game between CPA and Lipscomb, though, that could be interesting, just depending on the health of CPA's players.
Yeah. Another side note on Baylor McCallie, if it does happen, they've played the 23 and the 24 Blue Cross Bowl championship games against each other. They have not played in the playoffs since 2010. Otherwise, it was a quarterfinal game. It was a quarterfinal game that Baylor won 28-14. So yeah, that would be quite a scene if they do meet up, which would be in the semifinal round. On to Division II AA, Davidson Academy, 44-10 winners over JP2. The Bears march into the playoffs with some momentum.
Yeah, a really good game for Mason Pratt. Caught 5 balls for 66 yards and a score. Also had a 60-yard pick six. 1 of 2 on the night for the Bears. Rich Holman with another good night, 14 of 20 for 137 and a couple of touchdowns. JP2 just once again, just they've been up and down all year offensively. This is one of their offensive ebbs where they just could not get points on the board.
Yep. This week turned into a de facto bye week for FRA. Columbia Academy had to forfeit this game to the Panthers because they simply didn't have enough healthy players to go. That wound up being a forfeit for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think they've had 12 season-ending injuries.
I believe so.
At Columbia Academy. They're just they just couldn't. It's unfortunate, for the seniors on that team. It's also unfortunate for FRA, who you want momentum going into the playoffs, and you really don't. You really like to have that game, if nothing else, to let your give your depth some experience, if nothing else. So unfortunate on both sides, but your heart really breaks for the Columbia Academy seniors who only got 9 games in a 10-game season.
Yep. Good pasture, non-region game for them. They shut out Hunters Lane 56-0 on Thursday, so the Cougars will finish 7-3. And then GA 35-0 winners over Grace Christian. The Wildcats finished 9-1. So that bracket's going to shape up like this. Davidson Academy will travel to Los Angeles. Good pasture at home against CAK. FRA gets Lakeway Christian at home. Silverdale and ECS will tag one of the first down. I believe ECS is the home team in that one. They're both 3 seeds. JP2 on the road at Boyd Buchanan. Grace Christian goes to North Point Christian. BGA's at home against Notre Dame, and then Knoxville Grace will host St. George's.
BGA sets up with Boyd Buchanan on their side of the bracket. Wow.
Well, they got to beat Knox Grace first. Knox Grace is no slouch this year.
Yeah.
BGA, I think they knew. I think BGA and FRA both knew that the loser of that game in the regular season would have a long, long road to get back. It's definitely doable, especially in BGA's case, because I think they're a little bit more. They got a little bit more firepower on offense to potentially get in shootouts if they have to. Mm-hmm. So it is doable. We could definitely see the rematch in Chattanooga. But FRA definitely has the better path. The team that I'm looking at here that could potentially make a run is Good Pasture. They're just so balanced. We've talked about Caden Stroud and what he's been able to do, over 4,000 career rushing yards, and Slim Lavelle out wide, Chase Angel at quarterback. Pretty good up front. If they can knock off CAK, they'd have to go on the road probably to Lausanne to try to knock off Lausanne. But if they could do that, it could be a semifinal matchup there for Good Pasture and FRA.
Yep. All right, let's load up some more highlights here real quick. And I made the way over to Murfreesboro last night with Middle Tennessee Christian hosting Providence Christian, and region title on the line there. Scoreless first quarter. We go to the second. Ali Bangura is going to put MTCS up 6-0 on this 8-yard TD run. They did miss the extra point, though. Sean Burkhofer gave PCA a 7-6 lead. Right before the half, Bangura answers with that touchdown run at 13-7 at the break. Lions come back in the third. Burkhofer has his second touchdown, a short one there, 14-13 Providence Christian. And then a little defense here. 22's Bangura. He's going to find the ball and pick it at the end of PCA territory. Unfortunately, they don't connect on a field goal from 37 yards. It hit the crossbar and stayed out. So PCA still had a 21-13 lead after this Burkhofer score. His hat trick puts the Lions up early in the fourth quarter. Still a close game, 3 minutes to go. Cougars facing 4th and long deep in their own territory. A double pass to Bangura, but he is hit immediately in the end zone for his safety. It makes it 23-13 PCA. Porter Dedman added a late touchdown run for the Lions, who went to get 30-13 in a game that was definitely closer than this final score indicated.
What a great season for Providence Christian. Yeah, that's just an amazing result. Sean Burkhofer, 33 rushing touchdowns, 42 yards rushing, 11 and a half tackles for Burkhofer. Just incredible. Porter Dedman, 102 yards rushing and scores. Aiden Ronner, 92 yards receiving on 7 catches. This team can give some people this team could make some real noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, MTCS fans, you have some hope there too. I mean, this was a tight ball game for 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's still a very young team. Ali Bangura is a sophomore, junior?
Sophomore. He's sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, you got a talent like that, just be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 121 yards rushing last night and two scores. And then Riley Brown, 14 for 102.
Yeah, really, they just needed to finish a drive or two, and then they were in pretty good shape. But a competitive ball game pretty much throughout until the final 3 minutes, and then Providence Christian gets that first region title in school history. It's a big accomplishment for them, and they're going to have a first-round bye as well. Franklin Christian, 49-22 winners in a non-region game over Scotts Hill, so the Falcons will finish with a 6-4 mark and are guaranteed a winning record.
Yep, and that win for them locked them into a spot as well.
It did, yeah.
Nice.
Clarksville Academy shuts out Mount Juliet Christian 21-0. Neither of those teams will be in the postseason. Nashville Christian, actually, we'll show you these highlights real quick. You saw the score, but let's talk about it anyway. Nashville Christian hosting Friendship Christian. Eagles looking to try to finish unbeaten in the regular season to get a first-round bye of their own. So first off, it's going to be TJ Ward here around the left side and in the end zone to put the Eagles up 7-0. And then perhaps the longest option play you may ever see coming up here. When I saw this clip, I couldn't quite believe it. Curtis is going to take off up the middle, so not a design option run, but as he gets downfield, he realizes he's not going to quite make the end zone, but he's got help coming. Bryson Holtz gets the pitch and goes the rest of the way for the touchdown. It's 14-0 Nashville Christian.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch.
It's great awareness from both players, too, on that play to keep that going. Kind of a schoolyard, if you will. Friendship Christian and Boone with that long reception here for the Commanders. It's going to put them in to scoring range. It sets up Jaden McGowan here in the score. It's 14-7. And Friendship Christian very much alive in here. And Boone's going to wind up doing it on the defensive side here. He's going to intercept Jared Curtis on this pass. Nice reaction there. Steps in front and gets the ball back for the Commanders, but they did turn it over on downs. Curtis going to roll left, jump ball basically, and finding Zane Crampton, 50-yard pass off that one leg. It puts the Eagles right in scoring range, and then Curtis is going to get into the end zone by himself right before the half. 21-7 Eagles at the break. They had a huge kickoff return to start the second half, and it puts the Eagles right in scoring range again. Curtis is going to take the snap, basically taking himself again like he is willing to do. 28-7, and then hurdles the barrier just to make sure he's not falling over things. Another Curtis touchdown run here up the middle. He's going to find the end zone. Little punishment at the end. 35-7 was the score at that point. But Friendship Christian didn't go away. Jaden McGowan into the end zone again for his second, made it 35-14. And they also forced a fumble not long after that. And in fact, it is right here. Commanders will fall on the loose ball there. And then probably the highlight of the night, Blake Waldorf here is going to take off, and we'll just watch this run. It's a great run for Blake Waldorf, weaving his way through the Nashville Christian defense all the way across the field. Once he finds an opening, he gets cuts it back into the middle of the field, another zigzag, and he does end up in the end zone. 35-21 at that point. That's how that would end. 35-21, Nashville Christian over French Christian to finish 10-0.
And the amazing thing was there were no flags on that run. As much crisscross as he did, smart heads-up play by the Friendship Christian receivers downfield. This was again the Jared. This definitely was Jared Curtis show. He rushed for 167 yards and 3 touchdowns. He threw for 121. But Jaden McGowan, 31 carries, 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. Blake Waldorf with 103 yards rushing in the score. Nashville Christian got out, and they never really were threatened. But Friendship Christian would not go away, and I think they can take something away from this game, especially if they see each other down the line.
Well, they maybe not were threatened, so to speak, but 14-7, Friendship was playing the exact way they needed to play, and then Nashville Christian hit the 2-for-1. And when a team hits the 2-for-1 in a tight ball game like that, it creates that separation. It kind of takes the air out of it a little bit. Talking about Nashville Christian scoring with the 2-3 seconds left in the first half, big kickoff return, score on the first play in a matter of 15 seconds on the game clock. It goes from 14-7 to 28-7. That's the ball game at that point.
Well, that score at the end of the half was about a 2-minute drive or less down most of the field. So Jared hit the long pass on that and then put that score out there. So like I said, offensively they just really weren't stopped at much unless they stopped themselves.
DCA takes down Ezel Harding 45-15. The Wildcats are going to be the 3 seed out of the middle region, and the loss ends Ezel Harding's season at 5-5.
Yeah, King Gardner and Riley Biddle combined for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns for the Wildcats. They had 4 sacks and they had a fumble return for a touchdown. Just a rough night for Ezel Harding, for Juju Murdoch. I know that Tara Smith Murdoch had a couple of passes. One of them was a shovel pass to Smith for a touchdown.
Yeah, DCA, when they have been good this year, they've like most teams in our area, they've had good games and bad games. When they've been good, they can run the football. And that's what they're going to have to lean on. King Gardner, Riley Biddle, and that offensive line. Carson Sneed is not coming back this year, so DCA has to be able to run the football to be successful.
That bracket's going to break out this way. Providence Christian has a first-round bye, as well as USJ and Nashville Christian. Friendship Christian will be at home against Timpton Rosemark. The winner will go to Providence Christian in round 2. DC hosts Providence Academy, with that winner going to USJ. Concord Christian at Jackson Christian. Franklin Christian at Trinity Christian, and then Grace Baptist out of Chattanooga will go to MTCS in round 1.
Yeah, it sets up well on the top half for us to potentially get a team to Chattanooga, and then of course, Nashville Christian on the bottom half. Got to like their chances as well. I mean, super talented football team, and Friendship Christian, they wanted to win last night for sure, but it's not the end of the world. This draw for them is not horrible. They've got to come out, take care of business, and we mentioned Providence Christian. Providence Christian is a team that 2 years ago we said where their location is there in Murfreesboro. It's not a matter of if, it's when, and it may be here.
I want to keep my eye on this Franklin Christian Trinity Christian game. Let's see because Franklin Christian has been very, very good at times this year, and it'll be interesting to see how they go up against that game, with the winner facing Middle Tennessee Christian.
Yeah, and speaking of MTCS, maybe a silver lining from last night is you avoid Friendship Christian and Providence Christian in the first couple of rounds. Yeah, you have to go through Nashville Christian to get to where you want to go, but that's a semifinal game.
Agreed. Yeah, it may have been, it definitely a silver lining, like you said, out of that result.
We have run out of brackets to talk about, guys. We've filled nearly 2 hours with this. Before we get out of here, final thoughts before we take off for the morning and get ready to watch some college football.
Just one note, my standard note. Hey, playoff coverage is coming up soon. If you want to get some exposure, sponsor our playoff coverage or our Blue Cross coverage, or hey, both. You'll get an ad on our show. You'll get mentioned on all our socials, and it's just a great way to promote your business. Also looking for sponsors for the Coach of the Year awards. There's 3 of them out there, and so just reach out to us at the email below, or you can always get us on X or Facebook or whatever, Instagram, whatever. Just reach out to us. We've got we can definitely work something to your budget. But now's the time before they start.
Yeah, season 2's here. The real season, as most teams like to call it. This is the season that matters the most. Once you're here, everybody here's got the same shot at a state championship until they don't. So enjoy it. Go out there and live it to the fullest. This is what makes high school football so great. Everybody playing for dreams in a lifetime, so to speak. This is moments that will last with them for the rest of their lives.
I want that on a shirt. Everybody's got a chance until they don't.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure somebody can make that happen for you.
Can-isms.
All right. On that note, it's been 2 hours. Thank you for joining us this morning for the 615 Preps Scoreboard presented by AccuWorks. We're back Wednesday night, normal time, 7 o'clock with 615 Preps live to get you ready for round 1. Joe should be back at that point too, and we'll go forward with our usual ridiculousness. And yeah, it's 1 and gun for everybody. So good luck to everybody in the postseason, and we will see you guys on Wednesday night. So for all of us here at 615 Preps, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you Wednesday. Take care, everyone.